Tonight, TSS goes to war. Bring the war in Iraq into your video game. Plus, Yoshi digs in and builds a PC in his empty ammo case and harness the power of Spuds to destroy your enemy. It's a potato cannon. Live from the Tech TV studios, San Francisco, it's Screensavers!
American.
Hello and welcome to a very peculiar edition of the Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton. Would you like to wear the magic helmet?
General Patton. No, I don't think so. Wow, that's... And I'm Leo Laporte. Thank you for joining us. Through no prior planning on our part, we have created what is basically a all-military screensaver. It's a very interesting screensavers today. Yeah. We're going to get in some of your calls, too. We're actually going to have a lot of fun. I would suggest rolling the tape on this one. Get the TiVo ready, Mom. It's going to get weird tonight. We're going to blow things up and all sorts of stuff. You're going to need this. And tonight, at the end of the show, one lucky member of our audience
is going to get shot with a potato gun?
Yep. But first... You know, and actually, when I told the audience that, I got volunteers. They're insane. Let's take a look at the top stories of the day from the technology wires. Big surprise, more patches from Microsoft. Internet Explorer and Outlook Express.
Shocked. Shocked I am.
Apparently, buffer underruns seem to elude the programmers at Microsoft. They can't seem to avoid creating them. Microsoft's Internet Explorer browser has another buffer underrun that's going to allow a malicious cracker to put code on your computer, arbitrary code, which means you could presumably take over your computer.
Fortunately.
Yeah, if you have 501, 55, and 60, which means pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
And also, Microsoft released a patch to address a critical problem in Outlook Express, affecting versions 5.5 and 6. Again, HTML messages, which, you know, I got to tell you, HTML emails are bad. Somebody sent me a message saying, well, isn't it unprofessional not to use HTML email? And I said, no, I think it's unprofessional to use it. Email should be text. It's safer. Everybody can read it. It's smaller.
Yeah.
I get messages now that are routinely, 20, 30, 40, 100K.
Which adds up really fast.
Yes. Anyway, this HTML attack could allow an attacker to infiltrate a user's machine by tricking you to visit a website with some malicious code on it. I mean, remember, anytime you've got an HTML email and you're looking at an Outlook and Outlook Express, you don't have to click because the thing is opening it up. You're in effect going to a web page, and it's very easy to hide code in there. Do run Windows Update if you haven't done it lately. And if you turn it off, for crying out loud, turn it back on. Patrick is going to show us. I'll stand at a safe distance while my assistant Patrick demonstrates how to turn on.
Are you going to start talking about Mutual of Omaha?
Yes, I am.
When terrible accidents like that occur, you'll be glad. Oh, boy. Control panel. And this is the part where I always get confused, because I never turn this off.
Well, let me show you then.
Okay.
Maybe you need this lesson.
I never turn it off.
Yeah, that's the thing. It comes on by default, but I think sometimes people turn it off. If you go, I think My Computer Properties and click the Automatic Updates tab. That's why you're having trouble finding it. And look, it's turned off. So we're going to turn it on here. Windows can find the updates you need and deliver them directly to your computer. Once it's turned on, you have 3 choices. You can have it automatically download and install them. I actually don't recommend that, especially
it's a little scary.
After yesterday's call, remember when the patch slowed down a certain number of computers? So maybe download them automatically, but let me know that they're there and whether to install them.
The automatic download and installation where you can schedule it like that, there's one advantage to it if you're on a dial-up connection and
do it in the middle of the night.
Because if this is a 5 or 6 megabyte update, which isn't as unusual
that's a very
as
good
you'd
point.
like, if you're up a dial-up connection, it can be incredibly frustrating.
So if you are on dial-up, do this and just make it in the middle of the night, as the default is 3 a.m. And then click OK and do use those updates because they will protect you.
Over the course of the show, of course, this is going to tell us we need like 437 updates.
I didn't realize it was turned off. Look at that.
You learn something new every day. Britain is taking the lead, it looks, in voting technology. Come May 1st, Britain's 17 local council areas will be able to participate in their elections via the internet, text messaging, or even digital TV.
Wait a minute.
I kid you
I can
not.
vote from my cell phone?
You can vote from your, at least in Swindon, you can vote from your digital TV.
That just seems like a bad idea, doesn't it?
Well, the voting trials will help decide whether online voting can be a cure for voter apathy.
Yeah. Oh, look, I can send a happy face with my yes vote.
Hey, you know what? Surveys conducted for Britain's Electoral Commission claim 60% of the people polled say e-voting would make them more likely to participate in the elections. You laugh. The biggest reason people say they don't vote, it's going to a polling station. It's just too big a pain.
Tony Blair is hot.
Another British survey found that 40% of young people would spend, and I love this quote, more time considering party policies if they could vote online. Same survey in between, I guess, downloading songs.
Right.
The same survey found that more than a third polled, everybody who says like, hey, this is great, we'll vote online, while 30%, over 30% of those people said that they would have less confidence in the results of an online election.
See, isn't that fairly important that you actually believe after the election it was fair?
Sure.
Seems to me that's important.
I mean, we got hanging chads, we got hackable servers, we've got, who actually owns these servers anyway? It turned out the last year's local elections in Britain was low, with only 32% showing up to vote. Only 59% voted in the 2001 general elections. Before we start mocking our friends over the water, well, the Committee for the Study of the American Electorate found that less than 40% of American eligible voters turned out for the midterm elections last year.
The answer is not SMS voting. The answer is getting some better candidates. Come on, guys. And every expert I've ever talked to says electronic voting, online voting, terrible idea. Look how easy it is. Look, Microsoft, another patch. This is not a safe platform to trust the most important things that we do, which are electing our public officials.
Open BSD.
Yeah,
or
that's
OS
right.
10.
Our question of the day, vote online, will you? How would you like to vote?
The internet.
Digital TV.
A booth.
Or a show of hands.
My personal favorite.
Everybody in favor, go to thescreensavers.com and post your
6 o'clock
opinions.
p.m. on November 2nd. Every American will stand outside of their house and wave to the big satellite bird with their right hand.
At least we could be sure.
Or their left hand, depending on who
that's a
you're
good
voting
idea.
for.
That would work. All right, LAN party today, powered by NVIDIA. Today we are playing Quake 3, the full version. Our servers are fired up and ready to go, and those of you that registered earlier this week will be playing against the Screensavers team. Watch out, they're deadly, going from left to right. My daughter, Abby. There she is, Yoshi, and a couple of members of our audience. Oh, and there's Kevin Rose at the end. All right. But watch out, because Abby is dangerous in Quake.
That's the face of a killer.
It's Take Your Daughters to Play Quake Day, and we're doing it here at the Screensavers. If you didn't register to play, you can't do it for today's show, but you can do it next week. Go to thescreensavers.com, click Join Our LAN Party. Let's take a question. We got a lot to do.
Vincent
Let's get
joins
started.
us on the phone, Knoxville, Tennessee. How you doing tonight, Vincent?
Hey, Vincent.
Hey.
How you doing? What can we do for you?
What's going on?
Not much. What can we do for you?
I'd like to know, how do I stream video to my neighbors?
Well, do you have a network connection to your neighbor, or do they have an 802.11 card that can pick up your home network or something like that?
We're both on broadband.
It's one of them boomerang mouse pads.
You need this.
You know, is your neighbor a cute girl?
Not exactly.
What's his name?
I'm sorry?
What's his name?
I hope it's a hit.
Oh, his name is Chris.
Okay.
Chris, I said you're a cute girl. Okay, so.
I'll give you your phone number.
Yeah, no, I don't want it. Thank you very much.
Whoa.
So
Step back,
basically,
Vincent.
do you want to have moving video or just like 30 seconds? What do you want to send him?
If I can, stream it.
You want streaming video?
How they...
Well, streaming is hard to do
Real
because you have to
does
be running a streaming server. You have to be running something like the QuickTime server or the Real server or the Microsoft server to turn that into streaming video.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, can cost you anywhere from hundreds or thousands of dollars on a monthly basis.
I think the best way to do this is kind of a fake streaming server. Go to Webcam 32. Webcam32.com.
So you'd run it into Webcam 32.
Yeah, it allows you to do AVIs.
And maybe lock down the web page.
Yeah,
with a
absolutely.
login and a
But
password,
exactly. Let me make sure I got the right.
Which begs the question: what kind of video do you want to stream, Vincent?
It's like a 12-second video.
Oh yeah. Oh, you mean you already shot it?
Yes.
Oh, that's different. I
might
thought you wanted to
just
stream
do it.
live video.
If you compress it, you might just want to attach it to an email and send it to
I stream video all the time. If you go to that, yeah, absolutely. You know, for instance, I'll show you on my On my blog, I have video. I stream video all the time. Let's see if I can find one.
When you do that, does it come off an FTP server?
No, this is just a file. But if you create an MPEG-4 file, for instance, QuickTime 4, when you click on this, it's going to play it back as a video. So it's just, our of course, web access, because we're a national television show about computing, sucks. However, if it didn't suck, you'd see a movie right now. I don't know what you're seeing.
A beautiful, streaming, glorious movie.
Will he be the only one to see it, or will everybody see it?
Well, you have to password protect it if you only wanted him to see it. And actually, you don't even have to do that. Just don't make it a public web page. Kind of obscure the name and so forth and so on. But any video, if it's QuickTime or AVI, if you compress it right, it's going to stream. And QuickTime is a very good way to do it because you can put the streaming hints in there. You can say what bandwidth you want to make it. So if you want to make it for 56K, you can do that. And it really makes it very easy to do. That's actually simple. I thought you wanted to do live video. That's much more complicated because that's to do it on the fly.
We'll start small first.
Start small. Thank you, Vincent.
Keep it easy.
Thank you.
All right, tell Chris.
Good question.
I'll be watching for him, soldier. Don't go anywhere. You're going to miss Sarah's blog. This thing, how can anybody, you can't.
It's missing the liner.
Oh, that's why. Sarah, I feel like wearing a soup can. Sarah's blog report is coming up, the latest in the weblog universe. And after the break, we're going to show you how to make, this is going to be fun, backyard cannons out of PVC pipe, bicycle pumps, hairspray, potatoes, and my daughter.
What?
When the screensavers continue, stay right here. Our next guest is not only an expert fighting robot builder. In fact, we had him on before showing his fighting robots, but he knows a thing or two about backyard ballistics or cannons you can build in your garage, Bilger style. It's so great to have you back. Last time you showed us some great robots. Now we're going to talk about, and this is, I was so glad we could get you in to do this.
Well, thanks for having me.
Potato cannons, things that blow up.
Yes.
Now we're going to start with the simple stuff. There's no explosives involved in this.
Not this first one.
This is a petard.
Right.
Now, I remember in Hamlet, he was hoisted by his own petard. What is a petard?
Well, a petard is actually an ancient bomb. It's like a 12th century, 13th century. It's like the very first kind of bomb made from ancient black powder. It didn't work really well, which is why it was as dangerous to the person who had it as it was to the person they were trying to blow up.
So if you were hoisted by your own petard, you were blown up by your own bomb. Oh, that's not so good.
No.
This is a petard. Why? Why do you call this a petard?
Well, this is a pressure
shape?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, a petard is shaped like a little bell, and this obviously isn't bell shaped.
Okay.
But basically, what it is, it's a big pressure reservoir with a muzzle on the end, and when you operate it, it sort of shoots the ammunition out just kind of like a petard would.
Now, we got to say before we go any further, safety is paramount. I know that your publisher would never. I know that Chicago Review Press would never have let you publish this book if people all over the country are going to get blown up by it. And you've sold over 50,000 copies, so I know that it's safe, right? What do we need to do to be safe?
Well, you need common sense more than anything. I've gone through these projects with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that I could think of everything that could possibly go wrong and prevent that from happening.
Okay.
Follow the directions, wear safety glasses, don't shoot it at anybody. Common sense is important.
Okay. We're going to wear safety glasses. We're going to tell our audience to wear earplugs if they want. We've given everybody in our audience earplugs. We'll also warn you when we're going to do a loud noise, so you could, if you want, put your fingers in your ears, because we're going to do one loud noise. This one's not so loud because this is compressed air, right?
This isn't loud at all.
Let's start pumping it, and you can tell me a little bit about how that's going to work. He takes off the safety glasses. I leave them on here. So we've got a standard bicycle pump. You've just all of this stuff is made from PVC piping that you can find in any home.
PVC pipe is this terrific building material. It's so easy to use, and you can shape whatever you want with it.
How much pressure are we going to put in here?
Well, I'm going to pump it up to about 30 to 40 psi, which is well within the structural limits of the PVC and the joints.
And you're using standard PVC glue to glue this together?
Yeah, PVC solvent. It actually welds the pieces together. It's a very, very strong bond.
What would you shoot with this thing?
Normally I shoot vegetables.
Vegetables?
Potatoes.
A cucumber, a zook, a broccoli.
Kohlrabi.
Kohlrabi is always good.
Yep.
And you're going to shoot it, and how far would it go?
Well, if I was to put a potato in there and shoot it, and pump it up to 30 to 35 psi,
right?
I imagine we'd go across the football field without any problem.
100 yards.
Yeah.
You got enough pressure in there to shoot it?
Well, we got some pressure.
All right, I'm going to ask the audience right now to cover their heads.
Yeah.
Because we're going to shoot it right at you.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
All right. Fire.
Oh, our little joke.
Our little joke.
All right.
All right.
That's a petard, but you could use that to shoot potatoes, which is somehow, for some reason, people really like to shoot potatoes.
Right. But shooting potatoes is a fun thing to do, and I don't know why. It's kind of a visceral thing. Guys, maybe women too, but guys I know just like to shoot stuff.
This is a carbide cannon.
Yes, it is.
Now, a carbide cannon, I remember from college, we used to have one, the marching band would have one, and it was a little brass cannon that they'd fire on the field. It made a loud noise.
Yeah.
This, you can make one yourself.
I made this myself.
Doesn't it blow up the plastic?
No, because I don't have, we're just going to use it to make a loud noise. This end is left open. I don't put a projectile in here.
So it's not shooting anything?
That's right. What we're going to do basically is, this is a reservoir. This has water in it.
Okay.
And we're going to put some, a chemical called calcium carbide in there. Now there's an interesting chemical reaction that occurs.
What is calcium carbide?
Calcium carbide is...
miners used it, right, for their lamps?
Oh, that's right. It was a chip that they'd put in miners' lamps. They'd drip a little water on it in a very controlled way, and then they'd ignite the gas that emanated from that, and it would burn with an intense white light.
So that's basically what you're going to do here?
Yeah, but we're going to do it all at once. So instead of having an intense white light, there probably is, we're going to get a nice big boom. At least I hope we do.
What is the gas that comes? So when you mix calcium carbide with water, what do you get?
You get a chemical reaction. It makes acetylene gas and something called lime.
So this is like what an oxyacetylene torch would have, kind of, right?
Kind of.
Kind of? Okay.
Kind of, sort of.
So we are now going to be putting this is carbide. You can buy that in the hobby supply stores and so forth?
Yeah.
Is it powder or liquid?
This is a powdered form.
Okay.
Normally I like to do it with real carbide chips.
I'm going to stand back here.
Yeah, okay. Now what
everybody, this is the loud noise portion of the program today.
Hope it's
so
loud.
we'd like everybody to put the earplugs in or hold your ears. Abby, please hold your ears because Mom's going to kill me. We've got a little acetylene in there. He's going to light it now. Oh, hey-oh.
Oh.
That was pretty loud, wasn't it?
Wasn't too bad. Now, I didn't really load that thing up, but it makes a good...
I like the flame that shoots out of there.
Joe's how sharp that was? That's called a croissant noise.
We got Patrick huddling in the corner now because it went straight at him.
Hey,
now we know what the helmet was for. Doesn't he look like Patton in that thing?
No.
He looks like the guy in the World War II movies. You know, you call him Sarge. That's Sarge. He was in the trenches with me. All right, Sarge, keep your socks dry. That's right. The smoking lamp is lit. All right, let's do a potato cannon.
Let's do a spud gun.
These are fun. What ages do you need to be to do these?
I need my potatoes.
Oh, yeah, let's not take them away. What ages can do this?
Leo, I tell people my book, Backyard Ballistics, is a collection of PG-13 rated science experiments.
It's something you do with an adult. Let's say that right away.
You do it with an adult.
Yeah.
But, you know, fathers and sons, mothers and daughters, fathers and daughters.
Well, fathers and daughters. Abby's here for Take Your Daughter to Work Day. Come on, Abby. Can she help you with this?
I think so.
All right, so my daughter Abby's here. She's got her safety glasses. You got your earplugs in?
Yeah.
You held your ears.
I don't have it.
You held your ears, though,
this
didn't you?
isn't quite as loud.
So what do we do now?
Well,
first of all, is this how a potato cannon would always be on this thing?
No, this is my indoor test setup. Actually, I show people this a lot indoors. And a potato cannon is meant to be outdoors, not indoors. But we're indoors. So I made up this special stand. And this plastic thing, this PVC pipe here, is actually the potato cannon. What we're going to do is we're going to put a potato in this end and some combustible vapor in this end, and then we're going to ignite the combustible vapor, and when it ignites, it shoots this potato. Now, if you
it's a bazooka.
A spudzuka.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Sarah, can you move? Because we're going to shoot it straight at her, right?
Yeah, gladly.
No. No, we got a bucket at the end here that's going to go into, right?
Right. This bucket's going to catch it, and you can get a feel for the power of a potato cannon, though. Just watch the bucket after we're...
Go ahead and load it. I'm going to get the
trigger.
The most important thing is the propellant, right? So I'm going to get that.
Yeah,
we got to get our explosive.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I don't know if the camera can see this. I'm going to take this potato and I'm going to jam it in here. Now this edge is chamfered, so it makes a nice seal,
cut the edges of the potato. You need a potato bigger than the cannon, right?
You do. You don't want to have any room for it to blow by.
So basically, we've got a seal now.
Yep. Now it's sealed good in there. I'm going to put
That's what it's going to go into. And Abby's going to help you shoot. Now, this is the funny thing. This is what you use for propellant, right?
Yep.
Hairspray.
Yes.
We're going to use Aquanet today, but Final Net would have been better. What is the best one? White Rain?
White Rain's good.
Okay.
I'm partial to White Rain, but I think Aquanet
People don't
works
realize hairspray is highly explosive. It's volatile.
It is.
Now, now Abby, now he's going to spray it in there.
Come here, Abby. When I say now.
And you're going to, how's she going to fire this?
Well, what we're going to do, this is good. I don't know if the camera can see this or not. This is the mechanism. If you want to learn how to build this, it's in the book, of course. I'm going to show that as much as possible. But you turn this, and when you turn this,
see the spark?
It makes a
So that's going to ignite the Aquanet?
Right, and this is all common parts that I got at camping stores and hardware stores.
Everything here you could just go to a hardware store and get.
That's right.
All right.
Except for the potatoes.
They have to go to the grocery. Yeah. So how many pumps of that do you put in there?
I'm going to give it like a 4-second burst.
Not more. If you put too much, you could be dangerous.
You don't want to go too much.
Okay. And too little, you're not going to. So 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato,
That's
4.
good, right there.
Okay, Abby, get ready.
When
We're
I
going to
say
fire
now,
this potato.
1, 2, 3. Now, Abby, now.
Oh, let Bill do it.
I'm going to help you.
Oh, my God, it killed another bucket dead. There you go. The book is Backyard Ballistics. Bill Gerstel is the author. Backyardballistics.com, backyard-ballistics.com. You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. There's the book. There's the website. Bill's going to come back at the end of the show, and we have set up a target over here, and we're going to I'm going to stand right here like this, right?
Yeah, you're wearing
going to shoot an
protective gear,
apple
aren't you?
off my head.
Yeah.
If you like things that blow up and launch and go after other things, we got a project from Bill's book to make rockets out of wooden matches, and you can find that at thescreensavers.com. Bill, you're the greatest.
Thanks,
you so
Leo.
much.
Thank
What
you.
fun. Stick around. We're going to do some more explosives in a bit. But you stay tuned, because Tom wants to set up a RAID array in OS 10. We're going to show him how. And coming up next, a cool video game, my pick of the week, Command and Conquer. But first, check out Sarah's web tip.
If you're a true geek, and I know that you are, you like to party and learn at the same time. That's why Geek Cruises is the thing for you. Listen to experts in the fields of Macs, Linux, Photoshop, Java, and have yourself a cocktail in Hawaii, Alaska, or the Caribbean. TSS will be right back.
My daughter playing Unreal Tournament, Quake 3, and blowing up things. My wife's going to kill me. This isn't what Take Your Daughter to Work Day is all about.
Why not?
Time now for Leo's Pick. We do this every week, but today, actually, I'm going to turn it over to Dan and Kevin for something that they've been begging me, they've been bothering me, they've been pestering me to get. Command and Conquer. Kevin's here, Dan's over there. Yep. When this game came out, everybody was raving about it. It's about a month old now, and you've been playing it for a while. I remember Command and Conquer when it first came out. This is the second or third edition of it. This is Generals, and I have to say I'm totally impressed.
The graphics are just so much better than the old Command and Conquer.
Yeah.
They've just really blown it away.
It's what they call a real-time strategy game. You're playing from the top down, you know, something like Age of Empires or Civilization. But it's about war, right? You're ultimately designed to create an army and conquer the opponent.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you can play up to 8 players on one map, and it just has, like you said, it's real-time strategy. It's all about getting all your resources together. So it's not just a first-person shooter like shoot 'em up type deal. It's you have to actually build out your empire.
Chess here. You got to think about what you're doing.
You have to think about this.
You can play it by yourself, right? I mean, you don't have. But right now you're playing on a LAN against Dan.
Dan right now.
And then you can also go online. Let me just go over here to Dan. Now, Dan, Kevin says that he just beats you every time you play this game.
I suck.
But you like it anyway?
I love it.
What is so good about this game?
Well, for me personally, I come from a military family.
Right.
So,
you're playing what country here?
I am the Americans.
You're the U.S., of course. He's the U.S. of A. Who are you playing, Kevin?
I'm playing China right now.
You're playing China?
Yeah.
Boo.
Boo, hiss. We're all rooting against you. So you're already building an army.
I already have my little army here. I've just grouped them as group number 1. So every time
Look at this. I love
push
how
the
this
1
looks.
key.
Can you zoom in on these guys?
I can actually see what they're doing. Let's zoom in and see how the guys are doing.
Now, normally what you would do is build up an army, build up resources, build up technologies like fight. Can you do planes? Can you do
Oh, definitely.
tanks?
I mean, you have to take it one step at a time. So you start off with just men, ground troops, basic tanks, and then you build out like a technology center. Then you can get nuclear weapons.
Wow.
You can get stealth fighters, or Dan could because he's the United States.
Right.
And here's a train going through. Take a look at that train going through.
The graphics are spectacular.
Oh, they're unbelievable.
How is the AI? A lot of times these games, when you're playing against a computer, are not very challenging.
They've actually improved that quite a bit. I mean, the troops now get inside of buildings. They garrison themselves.
So you can have street fighting?
Oh, definitely. Street fighting. There's actually mobs that will come that in the town. They'll get mad that you've been destroying their towns, and they'll actually come out and attack you.
Kevin, what is your strategy for beating Fufu over here? Why do you beat him every time?
Well, I think that the thing is that you have to really have a plan of attack. You have to lay out everything in order. Dan takes his time. He puts like flower gardens, things like that together.
He says you're a peacenik.
I pot plants. That's what I do.
What are you?
I'm a peace guy.
Build an army.
I'm a
Get
peace guy.
going. You're
Okay,
an army
right,
brat. Get going here. Come on.
I have $200. What can I do with that?
He had 3,000. Are you cheating?
No, I'm not cheating. The problem is that Dan has to actually come up with a way to make money.
He needs more resources.
Yeah, he actually likes to build out and then worry about the money later.
This looks like the Presidio. Sometimes some of these people have living pretty good. So it's easy to mod apparently. In fact, we have a link on the website to an Iraqi mod where you can fight against the Republican guards. But I think this is. It looks like a lot. You want to show that real quickly?
Oh,
I don't think we have time. It's okay.
We can fire
it's
it
all
up.
right.
Yeah,
Command and Conquer Generals from Electronic Arts. It's about $40 in stores everywhere.
Pick it up everywhere. Highly recommended. The graphics are unreal. Great gameplay. A lot of fun with your friends. You get some friends that like strategy games, and you're going to love this game.
And always make sure there's one sucker like Dan, so you can really whip up on him. Thank you. We're going to send people to cncden.com for the mod War in Iraq, but also, of course, to Electronic Arts for Command and Conquer. My pick for this week. Thank you so much, Kevin.
No problem. It's
Appreciate it. Oh man, you're going to get. I'll tell you, I'm going to be. Abby was over here playing this.
Yeah, she was earlier.
Yeah,
She's actually really good.
Yeah. My daughter. Are you hip to blogging? We are going to start a new segment on Tech TV with blog mistress Sarah Lane. You're going to follow the blog community. It's a whole world, isn't it? It's a pretty amazing thing.
Yes, it is. Now, I'm a big gossip.
Yes.
I like knowing things.
Yes.
I like intruding on people's lives, thoughts, day-to-day operations, bathroom runs, and mental breakdowns. And that is why I love the blog. So I've decided to keep tabs on the world of blogging in a brand new segment called The Blog Report. And each week, I'll survey the blog scene, pick the best, worst, coolest, you name it kinds of blogs, and share them with you all.
Very good. I'm excited
so
about this.
obviously a blog is the truncated version of a weblog.
Weblog.
And I like to think of it sort of like an online diary where all new entries go at the top of the page. You're pretty much scrolling by date. It's really easy, very simple. So there's personal blogs, for example, MorganWebb.com.
Very popular.
She, of course, is the comely 24-year-old that recently received a marriage proposal.
On a hacked Madonna website.
Hacked Madonna website.
Not your typical marriage proposal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is her site. Does she talk about it on her site?
She does. She does. You know, just take a look. Just take a look.
All right.
And there's also news blogs. You know, Slashdot.org is a very good example of a news
We
blog.
talk about Slashdot all the time. This is kind of the prototypical news blog, but there's more than Slashdot.
Yeah, there's Slashdot. I like one called Blog Critics. It's an entertainment site. It's a collaborative entertainment effort. So basically, blogs don't have to be a one-man show.
Multiple authors.
Yeah, lots of people can contribute.
One of my
I kinda
favorites,
like
Boing Boing, is like that. Cory Doctorow, but a lot of other people. That's always fun, yeah.
Yes. So, in honor of Help the Planet Week here on Tech TV, today's featured blog is brought to us by those who run MysteriousEarth.com. They proclaim to be the weblog of myriad investigations into civilization's forgotten past. Today I learned something very interesting about Stonehenge. You'll just have to go and take a look.
This looks like it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek.
It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but there's actually some very interesting, I don't know.
Bush advisors resign. Actually, that looks like real news.
It's news that we can ponder. As future
Very
scientists
fun.
ourselves. So links, of course, are at thescreenservice.com. Email me, Sarah@techtv.com, of course. Much more on the blog report next week. Until then, go read. That means you.
All right. That'll be fun. Keeping up on the blogs, it's one of the most exciting areas right now.
It's fun.
On the
I love it.
internet,
I
and
love
I can't think of anybody better to do that. That's right.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere, folks. You're going to miss a PC and an ammo case as we continue our military theme on the Screensavers tonight. And still to come, our LAN party contestants are feverishly battling it out. We'll find out how Abby's faring when the Screensavers continue. Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Morgan Webb's former co-host, Leo Laporte. It's our Screensavers LAN party powered by NVIDIA. It's starting to seem like that, isn't it? A game today, Quake 3 using the Akimbo mod. Abby has donned the helmet of doom. She's playing, look at that, 2 guns, rockets. Is that Abby or is that Yoshi? That's got to be.
Abby's bragging.
Is she doing good? Are you doing all right?
I'm leading right now. Jonathan's right behind me.
Now, who are you? Jonathan is from our audience, right?
Yes.
Oh man, we are just having fun in here. We want everybody to go in the LAN party, but of course we can only invite a few hundred of our close personal friends. Make sure you get in next week's LAN party by going to thescreensavers.com. I can't guarantee Abby will be here next week though. She's signed for a world tour.
Yeah, we might have to. You know, she's a ringer. I don't know if we want
Yeah,
that.
it's not allowed. Not allowed. All right, let's get over to Pat, who is going to take it from here. Right, Patrick?
Thank you, Leo, and I'd like to remind you that I will never go up to stardom like every other co-host you've ever
Every
had.
other person I've ever worked with.
Yeah, let's check in with the fine folks over at Tech Live to see what is coming up tonight. News anchor Chris Leary joins us from the Tech Live site.
Right. Well, speaking of which, guys, we've got a special treat for the Tech TV faithful tonight. Our very own Morgan Webb. You may have heard of that name before, but of course she's been a search engine fave of late. Yeah, I wonder where she got her start. Screensavers. And of course, she's the co-host of the soon-to-be-launched X-Play, and we got to ask, who is Morgan Webb? Good question. Well, we sat down with Morgan and the people who know her best to get the full story. We're going to bring you that tonight on Tech Live, right after Screensavers. Until then, we're going to send it right back to you guys.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. We'd like to go now deep in the side of Emilio Laporte's
No,
mind.
thank you.
Who is Emilio Laporte?
I have no idea. Tom on the line from Sun City, Arizona. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Hey, Leo. Hey, Pat. How are you?
Fading into obscurity as I stand here. What you got for us?
Former
Question,
cohort
Tom?
of the famous Morgan Webb. What can we do for you?
Well, I actually edit in Final Cut Pro and
Awesome.
Logic Audio.
Yep.
And I've heard that going to a RAID 0 setup and striping my data would be faster than just the physical,
Just
partition,
going straight to
one
a single
partition
drive.
of my IDE drive.
I think a lot
wanted to know.
of video editors do use RAID, but
Yeah,
the
it's-
tests of RAID show that it's not necessarily a lot faster.
The biggest place is going to help you if you capture, if you're either moving a lot of video onto another set of hard drives or a RAID array, or if you're capturing, say, over a 1394 port and laying it down to a striped RAID
It
array.
writes faster. It doesn't read
writes
faster, but it writes faster.
In fact, in some cases, it will read slower than a single drive. So it's definitely something to think about when you're handling it. You want to check this. Basically, let me tell you three things. When there's software RAID versus hardware RAID, both of which have different performance levels.
OS 10 does have native support for software RAID,
Right.
so you don't need any additional software.
However, is that going to pull away clock cycles? You'd be better off laying into filtering or your other video editing functions.
I think
in
for what you're doing, you want hardware array, which means very simply going out and getting a SCSI card, which is, by the way, the best form of array. The RAID benchmarks you've seen are probably IDE RAID. That's the
Almost
other thing we should say.
exclusively IDE RAID.
SCSI RAID, which is the original RAID, is probably a lot
It's
faster.
supposed to be, although when I was working back at Windows Sources, we found a lot of these amazing SCSI cards with dedicated memory on them worked great for servers, but when you were using single applications, they often turned in much lower performance.
Well, and you're going to be paying a lot. You may see the best results
Yeah.
just because you're using faster SCSI drives more than the RAID array itself. But
Yeah.
you get a SCSI card, you're using, I presume, a G4 with PCI slots, so you get an ATTO or something SCSI card. You put that in there, get 2, 3, 4 SCSI drives, and yeah, I think you're going to see some benefit.
Yeah, it's something that definitely, I checked some of the more intense video magazines to see if they've done a roundup recently. Somewhere around May 8th, we're actually doing an ATA RAID, which isn't going to help you as much on the Mac side, but at least we'll have some more information about some of the striping speed and what we find out.
I don't think, Tom, you're going to see the benefit in software RAID.
Right.
I think you're going to have to do hardware if you really want to see any real speed improvement. Okay?
Great. Well, I laid down the FireWire first, and I just wanted to know.
Yeah, well, FireWire is probably a good way to do it too. Actually, yeah. And now that's a good question.
FireWire RAID.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look into that. Hey, thank you for the call, Tom. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, guys.
There we are, folks. Darrell's looking for Linux commands, and after the break, we're gonna help him with that. Yoshi's gonna show you how to turn your empty M60 ammo cases. I know we all have a few of those hanging around the house into a PC. Find out how when the Screensavers continue.
And on Madonna's website, if you have a bunch of spare M60 Army issue ammo cases, the old 7.62 M16 cases laying around, well, maybe you don't. Go to an Army surplus store, turn them into file servers. Here to show us how, Master Sergeant Yoshi DeHerrera. What exactly did you do here?
Well, I had this lying around the house. I just figured it's collecting dust. Why not do something constructive with it?
Now, I know people use these for toolboxes. They use them to store stuff on camping trips. They throw them at other people.
I wanted a portable file server for going to MP3 parties or just being a file server. It's Wi-Fi. You can use it for packet sniffing. Whatever you happen to want to do.
Did you break an ATX motherboard in half to get it in there?
No. Let's open this up. Show you what I used. I used a VIA Epia mini ITX motherboard, so they're real small, 170 millimeters square, real teeny little guys. So
and it's a tight fit.
This is the motherboard up here. It's a very, very tight fit. Let me show you the bottom of the case to show you how tight it was, actually.
How tight was it?
I had to cut a hole to get the PCI riser to fit properly.
Don't set this down in a puddle. It would be bad.
No, it would be bad. This is meant to be on a dry table.
Right.
No water.
Could you maybe seal some plastic down there or something?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. And we also, you drilled out, now on the left side of there, is that the power supply I see, naked and exposed
Yes, this is the naked exposed power supply because I needed that extra, 1 centimeter.
Wow, and that was a small power supply to begin with.
It was one of the Sparkle, meant for like the E-machines, that kind of thing.
Got it. And if we drag the camera a little bit to the left there and dig down, you can actually see, how did you get the PCI card in there? Is it a right angle adapter?
It's a right angle adapter, and then I just mounted it right in the back here. So I'll show the back of it, and antenna's right there. I thought it gave it that kind of cool military radio look.
Speaking of military radio look, it's got its own dog tags?
Yeah, I found some blanks, used the trusty laser, etched those in.
You've done more stuff on that laser printer.
Oh, I love
How about
that
a hard drive? Is it a full size or a notebook hard drive?
It's full size. I got a Western Digital 120 gig in there.
It's a big full size drive.
Yeah, I mean, you could put a bigger one in there if you want, but that's just what I happen to have.
So how'd you build? What tools did you use? Is it back to the
I
Dremel,
used a Dremel, a drill, and marker and ruler.
Basically just hacked away and
just hacked away. The plastic bases I used to mount the motherboard and the power supply. I just measured them out, marked my holes, drilled them, then used those as a template to cut
there's the
everything
wall
out.
of the ammo case, and there's a layer of plastic, and then
there's a layer of
motherboard.
plastic because I don't want the contacts from the solder points touching,
short
and
out.
I couldn't take the space to put risers in there because I would have taken too much space away.
It's that tight.
Yeah.
Stuffed as it is, any heat issues?
A little. The fans I was originally going to mount in there didn't fit.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to modify it here in the next couple days and put another fan on the outside here under the handle.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man has done it again. Where can they find more information on this?
They can find it on the site.
And he's going to actually hook it up to the monitor.
It's
to make
actually
sure you
on
know
right
it
now,
works.
but here, let's power it on here.
You want to turn your ammo case into file servers? Check out Yoshi's article at the Screen Savers. There, it's running now. What's the next mod going to be, Yoshi?
I'm not quite sure yet. I'm gonna go back to the basics a little bit and do some cheap, easy mods.
Cheap, easy mods?
Yeah.
We like cheap, easy mods. Stick around. After the break, we'll take Darrell's call. He wants to boot into Linux, but with a UI, why isn't it working? Sounds like he's got command line issues. But first, listen up to Sarah, because she's got a Windows tip for you. Oh, we're not doing that. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Oh, she's learning. She's learning. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Take your daughter to work day. I don't think that's what they envisioned when they said take your daughter to work
He's
day.
working it. Darrell Jones is on the phone from Houston, Texas.
Hey, Darrell.
How you doing?
Hey, Leo and Pat.
Welcome to the show. Oh, my. Oh, there we go. Don't move an inch because every time you move, the net cam goes.
I understand.
What can we do for you, Darrell?
Okay, I'm a newbie to Linux.
Yes.
Aren't we all?
And I just installed, well, I've been playing with two different ones, but Mandrake is the one I'm having most trouble with.
Okay.
It's Mandrake, I think, 9.
Yeah, that's the current version. Okay.
Which is not the newest version, but I haven't played with it.
Yeah, the newest is what, 9.1? I mean, it's close enough. You're fine. Yeah.
Well, anyway, I would go to change the resolution, and then it would say you have to reboot or relog in.
Right.
And then after I would log out, when it would log back in, it would come up to a command line login and not go back into the GUI.
That's right. You can set it up to always go back in the GUI, but if you, so what would you like to know?
I want to get back into the GUI. I can't figure out.
Oh, just type StartX.
What is it?
Start S-T-A-R-T-X, one word.
Start X.
X. Yeah, that's the equivalent of like Win. When you remember in the old days when you go out of Windows to DOS and you want to go back in, you type Win.
Yeah.
Start X starts X window. Linux is really I mean, as all Unixes are, a command line.
Does that work for any version of Linux?
Yeah, it should.
It should.
Because I was playing with a version of Linux for Mac OS or Mac architecture, and I installed, but it wouldn't come to a GUI.
The yellow dog. Yeah, well, I mean,
it was a yellow dog.
Yellow dog. Yeah. I mean, look at the Linux is a command line operating system, but as with all Unixes, you can run a GUI on top of it, which is called the X Windows system. You have to start the X Windows server, and then your Windows manager will. And
if you're used to Mac, if you're used to Windows, right, you think of the operating system as being the
as a
picture
GUI.
you look at on the screen.
It ain't.
For Linux, it's just another application that's running. A lot of people refuse to run the GUI on it. Here's the thing. a lot of individual distributions that are customized to do different things with how that is launched, whether it is launched. Mandrake traditionally makes it really hard to get into the command line unless you really want to go there.
You can go into your init tab. I'm not going to tell you how, since you say you're a newbie. I don't want you to mess with your init tab. There is a file called init tab in the etc folder that you can say, I want to always boot into the GUI. There should be, once you get into the GUI, if you look in the configurator, there should be ways to say always boot into the GUI. And then it'll look much more like Windows or Mac, where it boots into the GUI, asks for a login, and you continue. And even if in those situations, even if you get out of the X Windows, it'll kind of relaunch itself to keep you out. I never set it up that way because I want to be able to easily exit into the command line and get back in. StartX is just a shell script.
Right.
So if you don't have StartX, then, well, I mean, for some reason that shell script wasn't created.
It does it when you boot up normally?
Right. But just not when you do that reset.
But when I had to log out to change my resolution, but you know what? That's another problem. It's not really changing the resolution. Screens are going off the edge, too.
Well, that's because your monitor is misconfigured. It needs to know the refresh rates of your monitor. That you do with a program called, there's a lot of ways to do that. I use Xconfigurator. It's Xconfigurator because it's a N-curses. It's a text version instead of the X window version, which may or may not work.
You've run into one of the most frustrating aspects of Linux, Darrell, is the fact that we're all, at this point, Windows 98, 95 XP have gotten us, and Mac. So
we're spoiled.
We're spoiled. We're used to the graphics card automatically being detected, the monitor automatically being recognized.
It did detect everything, though. It has the proper monitor as far as I can tell.
Well, but if it's going off the edge, then it means it's confused about something. So here's the bottom line. Start X, all lowercase, to start X window. That'll get you back into X window. If you want to if you're at the command line and you want to check your settings, capital X, lowercase configurator, all one word.
The whole word configurator?
Yeah.
No spaces?
No spaces. Capital X, lowercase configurator, all one word. That comes with Mandrake. I know that's with Mandrake. That'll let you change your monitor settings, change your resolutions, pick a resolution that works. It basically runs you through the same process you went through on install.
On the way, I'd like to say,
you like this
really good book, Teach Yourself Linux. You might want to check it out, Darrell. It's a book from IDG. Has a nice step-by-step. It explains a lot of the fundamental differences between the Linux and the Windows or Mac you're used to running.
That's what needs to be written.
Walks you through step-by-step.
It's a book for Windows users who are going to Linux.
Well, I got a book called Linux Administration Beginner's Guide.
Yeah, that's an excellent book, but it's a little high-end.
Oh, really?
I'm talking the difference between, like, how to keep your Volkswagen Bug alive versus the technical manual that's designed for Toyota service technicians. We want something on the lighter end of it that covers the higher, glossier
You're not really an administrator, Darrell. That's for people who are administrating networks. You're a user. You want a desktop guide. This is a very good choice.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, thank you for the call, though. Don't give up. The whole point of this is it's fun to try it. You can't mess it up. Don't do it with your main system. Do it with a secondary system, so it's okay if it's down. Thank you for the call, Darrell. We appreciate it. Stay where you are. We're going to find out what's on your mind as we read your emails and faxes. But first, Sarah's Windows tip. It's back, baby.
I'm having a problem with my taskbar. I'm having a problem. Why won't this move over? Move. Okay, here's what I do. Right-click on the taskbar itself. Make sure Lock the Taskbar is unlocked. And now I can move it. Awesome. What a relief. Stay tuned. More TSS on the way.
Be sure to catch tomorrow's program. We're going to compare Apple's PowerBooks with Brett Larson. He's got the 17-inch and the Mini-Me version.
And the 15-inch.
And the 15-inch, the one in the middle. We're going to show you 3 free games you can enjoy even with a terrible graphics card in your laptop. And we're going to take live calls, too. It's all on tomorrow's show. We got a great show planned for you tomorrow. I'm excited. We want to, before we go, we should say thank you and goodbye to Robert Sheehy, who was started as our intern.
Yeah. And
this is his last day as our intern because Robert is moving on to go to work for some other show. What show are you going to work for, Robert? X-Play.
X-Play.
So you'll be working with my former co-host, the former host of the Screensavers, Morgan Webb.
Famous.
Hey, have a great time, Robert, and thank you very much for all that you've done for us. His dad is in the audience, Albert, and we thank him for coming by today. It's great to have you guys, and it's been great having you, Robert. We appreciate it. Now, before we go, don't you think we should have one last explosion?
Yeah.
Would you like to do it? Bill Gerstel is here. We want to remind you, he's going to actually do it by hand, right? Be safe. Don't aim it at me. Be safe. Check your local ordinances before you do this, and make sure you read the book Backyard Ballistics for all the details on how to do this safely. Right, Bill? He's got a potato loaded in it. He's going to shoulder fire the potato cannon. 5 potato, 3 potato, 2 potato, Aquanet. Get ready. Here's his target. Oh! 1 dead Barney. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you tomorrow on Call for Help, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be back right here at 7 p.m. Eastern for the Screensavers. Thanks to our guest, Bill Gerstel. Good job, Bill. And to our brilliant intern, Robert Sheehy. Thanks to